Welcome everybody to Campaigns and Concoctions, where we're a bunch of happy hooligans who like to drink and play D&D. Woo! I'm on this positive train, guys, and I think we're going to stick with it for a minute. But thank you everyone for joining us on this adventure of cooperative storytelling. If you would like to talk to us in a more interactive way, you can hop on the interwebs, and you can find everything in the links below. Point. There you will find links to Discord, Instagram, all of our stuff. And again, keep watching. That was why we were talking beforehand. We have got shit in the works. Yeah, federal government, get your shit together, please.
They can't.
I know. I spent 6 years working for them. I know.
The answer was in the question, Morgan.
Yeah. That's right. The answer was in the question.
A federal government website is down. Why?
Shocked.
Because it's down.
I'm shocked.
I'm just trying. I can still entreat them and be like, hey, please.
Hey, if any of you want to support us through Patreon, by the time you see this, there's a 95% chance we have a Patreon that you can support us through. If we don't have a Patreon that you can support us through by the time you see this, there's some other bullshit you can fucking give money to that will support us, that will go into the goddamn Patreon and all of the bullshit that we're waiting for the federal government to give to us.
Well, how about this?
Like, here's the thing. We're not big government. We're not small government. We're government that works.
Okay, John.
We're government that works.
And
it ain't happening. So, like, get in the comments. Get in the fucking comments, all right?
Watching.
Get in the comments.
How about this? If there is no
hashtag Brendan Lee Mulligan.
Yeah. If there
is,
hold on there, Brendan.
Okay, we got it.
Hashtag Brendan Lee Mulligan.
If there is no Patreon when this drops, why don't you go send some money to Trevor Project? How about that?
Yeah,
I like that. I think that.
Let's do that. I'll put links no matter what to Trevor Project down below. They're doing good things. Also,
subscribe to Dropout. It's $5 a month. Subscribe to Dropout. They're a pro-worker organization. They do a lot of work to make sure that the talent that they have is making the money that they should, and they're making good content for their subscribers. So go to Dropout.
And get in their comments.
Yes. Also, tell Brendan Lee Mulligan that we want him to know that we're in the comments.
That's right.
I don't even give a fuck what the comment is. Just let him know we're in the comments. Yeah.
Fancy Concoctions is in the comments. Thank you.
CNC is in the comments.
All caps.
Let's go.
CNC in the C.
CNC in the C. Let's go.
Not CN.
So C and C
in the C.
C ampersand C is in the C.
All right, guys. Again, thank you so much for all of this. We do appreciate it. I can tell that John's going to be saucy today, and we're going to have to slap him down a little bit.
Yeah, I've been drinking for a little while. It's fine.
All right. As always, thank you for joining us, and we're really excited. Stick with us. We have stuff coming. It's a lot of big things. We're getting ready to drop some things where you can meet us. You're going to be able to hopefully support us if you so desire. The podcast and the YouTube will always be free. It will always be free.
But also, while all that's free, are any of you motherfuckers going to be in Grand Junction anytime soon? Because we are.
Hold on, dude. Don't be spilling the beans.
I'm not saying what it is. I'm just saying we'll be there. All right.
All right. So what are we drinking, everybody?
Would you like me to
start?
Yeah, go for it, DM.
All right. I made an Empress cocktail. Thank you, Anders Eriksson, for the inspiration. It is 3/4 of an ounce of Appleton Estate rum, 3/4 of an ounce of Remy Martin, 3/4 of an ounce of the Grove Street orange liqueur, even though it calls for triple sec. Shop local.
Yes,
and
shop
then
local. Yes.
Half an ounce of lime juice and a dash of Angostura bitters, shaken till ice cold. It's supposed to be in a coupe. I have no coupes, so it's why it's this. It is delightful.
It's fine.
It's nice.
Looks beautiful.
I'm actually pretty jealous of your drink. It looks really delicious.
It is very pretty.
We just need to get some local cognac, and we're ready to go.
You can't get local cognac.
No, that's why I said it.
We can get local brandy.
It's true. I made a drink. I made 2 drinks actually. This one's gone. This one's not gone. They were very similar drinks. It's called the Windy Apple. It's a Manhattan Riff made with Calvados and Carpana Antica sweet vermouth and 2 dashes of cinnamon bitters. You stir that up and then you put the cherry in the bottom because cherries taste better when they're soaked in booze. And I made another one with, instead of using Calvados VSOP, I used Laird's 100% Applejack. And I noticed that when they were cold, the Applejack one, you couldn't taste the vermouth. And then as they both warmed up, you could taste the vermouth. But for whatever reason, that the Calvados one was just fronted the vermouth better. Yeah, it's just like this Manhattan is best served lukewarm, is my opinion.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
That's the Windy Apple.
it is what it is.
We're calling this the Cobalt Weaver. There's not a ton of it left because John just spilled it.
I did. All over my lap and in my mouth.
And anyway, we got a fun thing coming, and this is a drink I'm working on specifically for SOA. But it was 2 ounces of Nika Coffee Gin, 1 ounce of Italicus, 1 ounce of lilac simple syrup that we made from Jared's lilacs.
That Jared made from Jared's Librarth.
Jared made.
We didn't do
Jared
shit
made from
except
Jared's
drink
Lilacs
it.
Jared, we
in
love you.
Jared's backyard.
Yeah.
And delightful.
And then like a quarter of an ounce of a blue
Spirilla.
spirilla.
Oh, spirulina.
Yeah, spirulina.
Blue
Spirulina.
spirulina.
Shake it, strain it, serve it in a coupe.
And it's delightful.
The color is
And
gorgeous. Get in the Discord
the
and see the
blue
picture
was
of this.
so intense.
Yeah, like it
So
was
blue.
Before I
trying to
spilt
make a blue
it,
drink.
before I spilt it all over my lap, that blue was gorgeous. Yeah,
Hold this over here
Yeah.
now.
we don't need to know about my drink. Doesn't matter.
It's Thrums and Pina.
John's drink needs to be water.
It's a variation on hot grog.
It does.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's Thrums and Pina. And
You heard
Spirulina.
it. You heard about the hot
does.
grog. You heard about the hot grog last time that we did this. This is just a variation on the hot grog. It doesn't matter what I did to it. Fuck around with the hot grog. Take that recipe and fuck around with it and make it your own.
And Dustin made a
And it's
drink.
gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
And then Dustin made a drink.
And
Yeah.
it's really fucking good.
And it is really good. It is really good. There we go. Thank you.
I made an equity parts drink
I might be a little drunk.
that has 2 ounces sliver bits, 1.5 ounce spiced coffee rum. I don't remember exactly which one.
Shit, yeah, you did.
And a 1/2 ounce of pineapple juice. And
Yeah.
a couple dashes of plum bitters.
That sounds great.
It's quite
sounds
good.
great.
It's deceptively boozy and yummy. It's great. It's soft and boozy at the same time. I don't know how you did that.
Oh, audience, this is going to be a fun one. I don't know how much D&D is actually going to happen tonight. John's on one.
Combat.
Yeah.
Let's do combat.
Let's fight some shit.
I mean,
Just
TPK, bitches. Episode 49, TPK.
That's right.
Could you imagine how horrible that would be?
Oh man. It'd
I'm
be
rooting
perfect.
for it,
It'd be-
honestly.
It'd fit our group. And
so
we'd
well.
have a nice little
Yeah.
spin-off campaign with Sid.
Sid shows back up on
Sid-
everyone else's deck.
Sid and the Children, Part 2. Are we seriously fucking doing this again?
And every episode, Sid goes,
This shit.
Oh my lord! All right,
Well-
we got anything else that we're drinking?
no, we
I
drank
think-
all the
I think we
things.
covered it,
I
yeah.
think we drank it all. I think we started a little early, and that's okay.
Some
For
of us
most of
started
us.
a lot more than a little early.
Yeah, some of us started earlier than early, and
That's all right. That was me
interrupt-
yesterday. I started at 1:30 yesterday, so
I mean, I do too.
it was delicious and delightful. Yeah, tonight's going to be a little bit of a mess, family. I have a feeling like that, so we're not going to be too serious because tomorrow's Memorial Day. Everybody's off. The only thing I have to do is to put a pork butt on the smoker, so we're not even worried about anything. It's going to be delicious. That's all I care about. So, with all of that being said, as again, I'm going to remind you because it was chaos there for a minute. please check out the links below. Click, point. There are things on the horizon coming. Next episode is going to be episode 50. We've got some special things going for that. We've got some things where you could possibly be meeting us and running into us here soon. And then we've got, as John said, we're hoping to get Patreon set up. We're hoping to do some more things. So just keep on that. Also, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. Those things all help with the Chaos God Algro as we try and get more and more people to explore this wondrous chaos that is everything, as you can hear in the background. Point. Honestly, this is a somewhat, I mean, it's only been like 10 or 15 episodes that's happened, and I really like it. The point. Yep. All right, so the last time that we met, the party had found directions to the City of Culture, which was a collection of barges and intertied ships and walkways. The crew expertly guided the ship and the party to the City of Culture, where they found Tamir Al-Kanan, a seer of dubious quality, until the doors opened and everyone was inside. Come to find out that this dubious seer was actually more than advertised. After a somewhat terrifying encounter with Tamir, there was some information gathered about the location of Delilah, which I'm trying to remember her last name. Delilah Hellspeth. Hellsbeth.
Delilah Hellspeth.
And then some of the party went and got tattoos, magical or otherwise. Speaking of which, John, if you remember, do you remember what we gave you for
Agility.
stuff?
Agility, yeah.
Agility. Okay, cool.
That's the right one.
It was a Dex plus
Agility.
1.
And so
Dex
you're above 20.
Really doesn't do anything for me, but I'm fine with that.
I love the fact that you're my first ever player character who is over 20 on an ability score.
Yeah, you're putting me at... Wait. No.
Wait, don't tell me.
Wait.
Great NPR show, by the way. Wait, don't tell me.
It actually puts me to a +2 above 20. Because I had a +1 above 20 before this. I don't know why.
I'm going to say you don't.
No, I did.
No, magic items.
Magic items gave you a +1 agility?
I think
Or
so.
+1 dexterity?
It's
tied in with his armor, I believe.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh.
That's exactly right. So that I have a 22. I have a
shit.
22 dex.
So you should have a +6 in dexterity.
Matt will tell you. I was fine with being like, yeah, I've got a +1 to agility, to dexterity, and it doesn't matter. Yeah,
Agility.
I've got a
now.
+1 to dexterity that doesn't matter, and I'm fine with it because whatever. I just love that it's happening. But I'm at a 22 dexterity.
So that's a +6.
+6 mod and a +6 save.
All right.
I'm so happy.
So,
And you have red legs.
I do have red legs because red makes it go faster.
of course it does.
That's right.
So the night, it was about midnight
Yeah.
when you guys got done.
Yeah.
And Sid assisted you walking home. I think it was Sid and Patrice assisted because you also had a
Charlene put on my right shoulder.
but Skjald also got a rice ball to eat on the way, remember? Because the guy was very concerned for your health.
Yeah, that's right.
So it is now the next day. You still have a few hours before the map is supposed to arrive, because it was supposed to arrive about noon today.
Yeah.
You have about 5 hours to spend before you get there, or before the map gets there. What do you guys like to do?
let's get some floating breakfast and talk about where we're going next.
I mean, Elle's asleep still.
Well, yeah, but Elle's always asleep still.
Elle's always asleep. Yeah.
Are you trying to eat on the ship, or are you trying to eat in town?
We want to taste the local fare because this is what we do.
It is what we do.
We eat
Pretty big fan of local bacon.
Say again.
Pretty big fan of local bacon.
Mm-hmm. Who is going to lead this excursion to go find?
Patrice is.
Okay, Patrice, go ahead and roll an investigation check for breakfast.
Well, no one has
Roll
really
a
been
breakfast
here before,
check.
right?
I'm gonna use a sorcery point to roll a better breakfast check.
Let's go, Patrice. Roll a breakfast.
I'm gonna use another sorcery point to roll.
Oh no!
I rolled a nat
Trick,
one.
motherfucker!
Oh,
I guess I'm trick, motherfucker. Yeah,
Oh,
let's keep it.
no.
I rolled a nat one on the second one. Let's keep that shit. That's how the game's played. Fuck yeah.
Oh man!
Drink, motherfucker, drink, motherfucker, drink.
Motherfucker, drink.
Stay hydrated while you do it.
Yeah.
Look, we don't make the rules, okay?
I got
we
a
don't
nat
make
one.
the rules.
But I like them.
Damn it.
We never made that rule. That wasn't us. That was the gods.
It's not a rule, it's a tradition.
It's a tradition. That's right. It's not a rule. It's a tradition.
I like that.
Oh god.
So as the
Just a wordplay.
so who's all going? It's going to be Patrice, Skjald, Esway, and
Sark, you coming?
Yeah, Sark's coming.
You like
Skjald is dragging Sark along with him. So whether or not he wants to, Sark is on the way.
What do you mean drag?
I think I can. I think I can.
I don't know that he's like 300 pounds.
Yeah, but my dex is 20.
Yeah, that's not a dex-based thing.
Actually, my
22.
dex is 22.
That's not going to help you drag.
We'd have a whole lot of fun gymnastic competitions going on.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. What are you rolling,
I
Skjald?
just want to stab something.
Let's go, Sark. Let's go, Sark. What are you rolling against
Roll a
Skjald?
D100 to see how many backflips in a row you can do.
I actually like this. It's happening.
This is back handsprings down the boardwalk.
Away.
He rolled all 0.
Am I rolling?
He rolled
D100?
all 0.
Am I rolling D100?
Yeah. Morgan, did he get a 0?
No, it's 1 to 100, right?
No, it's 0 to 99.
No, it's 1 to 100. All tables are 1 to 100.
Okay. You
So
You
that's
also-
a 10.
you rolled a 7.
And what?
Oh wait, which one did you roll? They're all 10s there. Did you roll 3 die?
I rolled 3 die. I rolled a D10, a D100, and a D20.
Oh,
You take whatever the fuck you
you
want.
got a
from that.
7.
You take whatever the
You got a
fuck you want
7
from
on your
what I rolled.
D100. And a check, and your check was with your dexterity, probably, and your acrobatics. Do you have acrobatics?
I'm proficient in acrobatics.
So you got a dirty
And-
20 on your acrobatics check for 7 backhands.
Wait, what was it?
7. You got a dirty 20 on the D20.
7 plus my proficiency.
No. 7 is how many back handsprings you did out of
No,
the D100.
No. If we're gonna rule that shit the way that it works, I've got a 7 plus my proficiency.
No,
plus...
not on a D100.
What on a D100? You got 10 plus
Well, then what
proficiency.
he's saying doesn't have anything to do with it either.
No, you rolled a 10 on the 20 for your acrobatics check. So you get a plus 6 for your dex and a plus 4 for your proficiency. So you got a dirty 20 on your check.
Sure.
And you did 7 beautiful backhands.
That sounds great.
And Sark
Did 10.
so Sark did 10. Oh, that's
Yep.
right. It's 10. You're right. You're right.
I know the argument of D100s. However, it's the tables that determine it. The tables
Right.
are 1 to 100.
I'm not arguing against that.
no one's
I'm just
arguing.
saying, I'm just saying, I'm not sure where the fuck Curtis came up with some shit. All right, that's all I'm saying.
I looked at the dice on the table.
And the reason I'm not sure where Curtis came up with this shit is because I wasn't looking. Just so we're clear.
All right.
I was not looking at either my dice or the table or anything else. And I'm like,
but do we know where Curtis came up with this?
Okay, so here's what happened.
I don't know, because
So
I was not counting my dice.
As the four of you exit, actually it's the three of you, and Skjald is just giving Sark the business, right? He's just
all
like,
day,
"Come on,
all day,
come on."
every day, all day, every day. Yes.
And then eventually he just says, well, you just can't do this, and busts out 7 gorgeous handsprings, right? And on number 8, he just kind of falls flat on his face because it's Skjald, right?
Fine. Yeah, who cares? It's fine.
7's good enough.
And then Sark's
That's
like,
what it needs to do.
Sark's like, fuck you, internally, because Sark's probably not going to say that to your face, at least not yet.
Yeah.
And then he does the weirdest, most beautiful mechanical 10 back handsprings and then lands perfectly.
Like a Romanian gymnast robot.
I definitely stand up and I'm just like,
And Scout is like, looks like that was produced by a ditto machine. Even though Scout does not know what a ditto machine is.
All right. So with the natural 1, Patrice,
Damn it.
you leave the party
You did
3 times around the circumference of the city of culture before you realize that, oh shit, I should probably go right, because like you turn left on the dock, right, and you just kind of walk around, and so the interior of the city is to the right. At no point did you do that. So
I just stayed in the residential zone.
essentially. So you bang a right, and then all of a sudden as you see this, it doesn't fit, right? So like if you guys remember the cafe that you sat at when you met when Sark and Elle went into the Nine Brothers in oh man, I can't even remember my own damn cities. Hold on. Iskarian, the city of Iskaria, where there was like that beautiful kind of Marrakesh cafe. Like this person is setting up an outdoor cafe on this boardwalk. How long till John passes out? That's the question.
1 hour.
Get this shit out on the road, Morgan, because you got 1 hour.
So as the four of you reach there, you see a
9 minutes.
excuse me.
Yeah.
You see kind of like a purplish human with gold markings under their eyes and down their chin, kind of like my little shitty goatee right here. Right?
Like happens in the world.
You look beautiful, Morgan.
You're a gorgeous human being.
So
and I love you so much.
purplish skin, little like gold baseball marks, and then one down here on the chin. And he looks up and says to you, well, welcome. You're my first customers of the day. Can I interest you in some bubbly juice?
We do like bubbly juice.
So first of all, yes to the bubbly juice. Second of all, we are not your first customers of the day.
You definitely are. This is not an early riser community.
Well, we're the first customers of this day, but we're the first customers of several days. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Why don't you just sit down and I'll bring you some bubbly juice?
All right, that's fine.
How much from your, like, I know your flask is never ending. Did you test that theory last night?
Never ending. Never ending, Patrice.
That was a long tattoo session.
Yeah,
That's
it
all
was.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it
say.
was. Never ending.
Oh, and we slept. Wow.
Yep. We stopped a lot longer than I ever have in real life.
So as this conversation is going, he leaves and comes back, and he brings essentially what is pomegranate mimosas.
Yes.
It is bubbly with this really gorgeous pomegranate juice, and it is laid out in front of you, and it's not fancy, right? Like, this is very much like his collection of glassware is very much like ours, where it is from like consignment stores and wherever we can fucking get it, right? So it's like each one of you have a different type of like champagne flute, and they're all slightly different. Like one is like this really weird, like almost brutalist square design, and then one is this traditional flute, and then the other one is like Art Deco. It's like it's all weird. None of it matches, but you taste it, you instantly become Frank the Tank from Old School, and it's so good. Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
It's the most quotable thing of like a decade. I say it all the time.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good when you hit your lips.
Once it touches your lips, it's so good when it's lips.
And so he lays out a couple of pieces of paper in front of you, the daily menu. And he does say, before you even get a chance to look at it, he says, what we do have, though, is we have a special that is a couple of eggs, 3 types of meat. And essentially, he begins to describe something like he assumes that you've never had it before. And most likely, maybe Skjald has, and maybe SOA. What he's essentially describing are crepes, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
For most of y'all, you're like, what is this flat pancake thing that you're talking about? I don't understand. And actually, Skjald and SOA, if I could get you to roll a history check for me.
Does it seem like
We're about
crepes
to
to
find
you?
out.
Roll history.
Roll with advantage.
Okay, that's fair.
You're working together on
Yeah, it's a natural.
Drink motherfucker, drink.
Yeah. So like, you rolled for crepes, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's totally great.
Yeah.
That was the first non-alcoholic drink motherfucker we've ever had.
It really is. It really is the only ever. The only
We already
ever.
drank all
Yes.
the booze.
It wasn't, though, because I was drinking booze.
It's true.
There we
It's
go.
true.
I've got
But also,
Hey, man.
for sure, we know that it's crepes.
Yeah.
delicious.
I'm getting close, Morgan.
So they tell you that they will bring you another sheet of paper that has the list of the different types of crepes that they have, and you pay. I think it's 7 gold pieces per person. It comes with your initial breakfast of eggs, bacon, sausage, and he calls this thing spliced ham.
Spliced, not sliced. Spliced. Yeah.
Because it's not sliced ham. It's
spliced ham.
I want you to take the first 2 letters of both. I want you to take the first 2 letters of that and put it with the last 2 letters of ham, and then you'll figure out what it is.
I got there. I got there.
It's splam.
It's definitely much spam.
Splam.
So
The first 2 letters are SP. Oh,
Sponsor us, spam.
please, I love you, spam. It is the best part of Hawaiian cuisine.
I'm a big fan of Masubi. Let's go.
Definitely. Also, when you come to Grand Junction, I will take you to the Hawaiian joint.
Yay!
I'll be there.
So he tells you about that, and then he says that you will have, from then on out, all you can eat crepes, and then the sparkly juice is all you can drink. And it's 7 gold a piece.
Grapes are pretty fucking great.
Skjald.
Yeah.
I bet I can eat more crepes than you.
Nope. No, you cannot.
What do we roll to see who gets more crepes?
I'll bet all day you cannot eat more grapes
Is it a
than me.
bottomless crepe situation? I just want to know like what we're on the hook on.
That's what he said.
Okay.
So that is going to be a Constitution saving throw for both of you. Whoever gets the higher Constitution wins.
Drink, motherfuckers.
Did you roll a nat 1?
I totally did.
Yeah.
I rolled a nat 19.
We've had 2 natural 1s, 1 natural 20, and John is
We're
just
not even done with breakfast.
And 3 zeros.
And what am I rolling here?
Constitution save. You win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I win, but I want to know by how much.
Lot, right? Like, don't just
Now,
Are you
you can't
proficient?
fail a save.
I got a 26.
Shit.
I got a 26 on that
You
concept.
can absolutely fail. You can't critical fail save.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I
Yeah,
have a
26.
10.
26. I got a 26 on my con save.
I can only eat 10 crepes.
And so, like, you guys,
I can eat 26.
The two of you go through it, and you're matching that first 10. So the first it's actually it's 10 orders that you get through because they come in two. Right, so the first one is chocolate filled, then strawberry, then banana, then you have some ham, and then you have a French omelet crepe. So it's like it's all of these things, absolutely spectacular. For you, Patrice, you've never had this before, and it's just absolutely spectacular. You're blown away, but it's so rich and so much.
Some fucking taste bitch bullshit.
And then Skjald just keeps going. Skjald essentially doubles up the menu twice. Right? So he goes through the menu once, goes through it twice, and then he's done. So as breakfast happens
to the world. Yeah.
The waiter comes back out. He lays down one more order of bubbly. Actually, except for I'm assuming that at some point Sark has said that he doesn't want the juice, he just wants the bubbly.
Yeah, that checks out.
So it's laid out in front of you, one bubbly and then bubbly juice for everybody. No one has ordered anymore. And he says, I have to say, this has been a most enjoyable experience. And at this point, there's a smattering of people who are starting to come in. And like you guys are just kind of doing like as we do when we go out to eat, right? It's a chaos, but it's it's a pleasant chaos, right? So the meal's been had, and he says, thank you so much for patronizing our establishment, and I hope to see you again soon. And he kind of clears everything out, and he just kind of leaves you be at this point. What are you guys going to do for the rest of as you finish your bubbly drink?
Do you have any coffee or espresso?
I'll take care of you. This one, my friends, on the house. And he goes back and he brings you out a traditional Italian macchiato.
Yes.
The espresso. For those of you who don't know, who have only been experienced Starbucks macchiato, that's not right. It is an espresso shot with a very small dollop of milk. It is
perfect.
Very good.
Macchiato means marked.
So yeah, so you guys have that, and it's $7 gold per person that's expected to pay.
No, thank you.
We dropped 70 gold right on the table.
I know.
Patrice dropped 70 gold on the table.
I pick up whatever is left over. I'm not dropping money on this table, I'm making sure that no one drops money on my behalf.
Okay.
So then what are you doing?
You're not paying for the meal?
Nope. I'm not.
Is it because you didn't get enough crepes?
Yeah.
You didn't have all you could eat?
I did not have all the crepes I can eat, which means that this meal was for Shizen.
No, you did have all the crepes you can get, because I did say that. I did say that.
But those crepes were for Shizen.
No, they weren't. You enjoyed every single one of them.
I didn't say I didn't enjoy them. I'm just saying they're for Shizen.
All right. So we're going to end the meal, and we are also going to end our segment at that moment. So stick around. We may or may not be back. So we will see how things go.
You may or may not.
So stand by. We'll see you all in a few. Welcome back, everyone, to Campaigns and Concoctions, where Tom Selleck's mustache is the pinnacle. I'm not going to explain further.
You don't need any more. That's it.
Oh my God, Tom Selleck's mustache. So, and the fact that our main HQ over there has had a little bit too much fun, we are actually suspending our D&D play for the evening. But what we are going to do is we're going to continue to drink. John's going to recover over there on the side somewhere. And then we are actually going to have discussions about the world lore. So any of the questions, it didn't even make an hour. No. It didn't even make an hour. But so the rest of the players, so in case you haven't noticed, you haven't heard Jared. Jared is out having a well-deserved vacation with his family. We love you. Take your time. We hope you're having a wonderful vacation. But what we're going to do is the other 4 players are going to take their turns, or whatever we end up doing this. We're going to discuss the lore of Librarth, the lore of the world, and we're going to continue to drink. So with that, what are we drinking?
I made a subtle riff on the Naked and Famous cocktail. I'm calling it Naked and Bruised because I poured it bruised. And so it's a Naked and Famous, which is an equal parts drink. This is equity parts drink because it's better. You want to front that mezcal. You want to reduce the lemon. Essentially, but the call sheet for it is the recipe is 3/4 mezcal, 3/4 Aperol, 3/4 of yellow chartreuse, and 3/4 of lemon. Yellow chartreuse is so hard to get.
Frankly, we're not sure it still exists.
We're not. We got a bottle over there with a shot and a half in it,
and that might be the last.
And the only drink I'm going to make with that is next week for the Golden Demon, because I want the fuck out of that drink for the 50th episode. Yeah. And so what I did is I mixed a half ounce of Strega, a 1/4 of an ounce of Liqueur 43, and a 1/4 of an ounce of Genepi Chambroy? B-O-I-S boy?
I think you can just say
Chamboy. Champ. It's French shit. It's Genepi. It's good. But I was trying to no, I can't pronounce French stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. It's Genepi. No. Oh no, enchanté. Oh. That's the extent of my French. And so if you mix those things together, I think it's a pretty good representation of yellow chartreuse. It's not yellow chartreuse.
It's a nice cocktail.
But it's a nice cocktail. So if you're trying to make a Naked and Famous, I would suggest you could probably just go with Strega. From what I understand from the internet, that is the closest you'll get if you're buying it out of the bottle. But I felt that the vanilla notes in the Strega were missing, so I added the Liqueur 43. And then Genepi to kind of up the botanicals.
I didn't know that, one, I was going to be the only other person making a cocktail.
I have one.
Two, well, and two, that we were just going to kind of do a little lore dump thing here. So I was pouring and I made a Voice of the Outer World because I was craving it.
Yeah.
And it's delicious. And I've already made this, but it's Empress Rosé Empress Gin, which, once again, if you're using the Rosé Empress Gin, stay the fuck away from Saint Germain or anything else with elderflower in it. There's already elderflower in
the gin.
In the gin. And I was on vacation last weekend, and we all saw an Empress Rosé cocktail, and I've been talking about how great that was. So me, my girlfriend's sister, we all ordered it. And they were like, this sucks. And I was like, yeah, it's because they put Saint Germain in a cocktail that already had an elderflower gin in it. Anyway, an ounce of Batavia Ararak, an ounce of Liqueur 43, a dash of tiki bitters.
So good.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's so good when it hits your lips.
What did I just see get passed back to Dustin over there?
I was playing with amounts in the drink that I made earlier, and the first version is better. So
yeah. 1.0 is better than 2.0.
Yeah.
So we're gonna call this one the mustache margarita in honor of Tom Selleck, because this is the way a margarita is supposed to be, and Tom Selleck's mustache is the way a mustache is supposed to be.
Morgan,
Right,
you
it
look good
is.
in a tiger's hat. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
He does look good in a tiger's hat, and UDTs. And if you don't know what a UDT is, Google it.
Or he was wearing a Tiger's hat.
Well, a UDT is the shorts he was wearing.
But did you see Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck where he goes to Japan to play baseball?
Well, yeah.
I'm asking the wrong person. Of course you will.
No, you're thinking of the right person, but I'm talking about his oh fuck, what is the name of that show? The one where he's in Hawaii. Yeah, he wears a Detroit hat there too.
It is
He
Ferrari.
wears a tiger's hat the entire fucking show.
Yeah, he wears a Tiger's hat, a Hawaiian shirt, and UDT shorts, which have a 3-inch inseam. Okay, so this is the mustache margarita. It is 1 ounce of lime juice, 1 ounce of Groove Street orange liqueur, 2 ounces of Milagro. Hold on, you gotta get this
Got
one
more
right.
ounces than you have inches of inseam.
Yeah, exactly. Of the Reposado tequila. And
Yeah,
then,
that's good.
yeah, it is. And then I used a Sweet Heat sugar rim here. It is delicious. It is wonderful. It has got just a lovely little bite to it. It's the way a margarita is supposed to be. None of this pre-made shit. So we are going to now talk about the lore of Librarth and the world that I have created. This is actually something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time with these guys, because between everybody here, they've either played in the world for a very long time, or they're fellow DMs, or they're really smart story writers. And it gives me a chance to talk about things that I haven't had an opportunity to talk about because it's been in game. So like, I don't want to ruin things, but this is a chance for them to ask any questions that they have. I may not answer because I don't want to spoil anything, but like, go ahead. What do you guys got?
Well, I fucking know too much already because I like writing in the sandbox, and you typically let me.
Well, you've also written a good job of that.
I had a question.
Go.
I was thinking about this when I was driving the other day. We got rings around Librarth, and we have multiple moons.
That's right.
Tell me about the tides when you have multiple moons.
So in this case, because of this particular place that Librarth sits within the multiverse, it is not quite tide locked, but it is tide gentle. That's what I call it. So the moons actually don't have a massive amount of effect on the tides because of the interplanial forces that are at play.
Oh.
So Librarth itself is actually one of the most central and tied in spaces within the multiverse. It is the representation of the material plane. There are other parts of the material plane, but everything of the universe and the multiverse connects through Librarth itself. So because of that, it actually stabilizes the dangerous tides of both the ring and the multiple moons and makes it a very gentle. The things that affect the seas are purely environmental and magical.
How much of John snoring is going in?
I don't hear a damn thing.
Okay, because that's why we're cracking.
It's impressive.
There's going to be some ellipse after the title and snores. The one where John gets fucked up and snores. So I hope that answered your question, Curtis, on the tides of Librarth.
It does.
I do think the other fun thing about Librarth is right, like where it sits in like the multiversal.
It's
plane.
like a nexus.
Yeah, no, right. So like one as a DM, right? Like Morgan is very willing to just like throw you not onto the material plane, right? Which has been fun, but it also as a player has given me a lot of opportunities to do weird shit with characters who are like maybe not totally native to this plane, or there's stuff that goes on with, let's say, the Feywild, and I know we call it something different, but
no, the Feywild just happens to be a city within a space.
Yeah.
It exists.
Yeah, right. Like where you know that's a big part of a character's backstory, because it's totally reasonable that your family just kind of blacks out for years at a time and disappears off into the Feywild, and then they come back and everyone's like, yeah, that's a normal thing for us.
See, it's one of my favorite things that,
right? Like,
especially with these guys here, is that they're all so smart when it comes to storytelling that, like, I leave my good chunks of my world intentionally blank, because when these guys tell me something, I'm like, oh, that's fucking brilliant. And then I end up creating something that will tie into it, because the story to me is all that matters, right? I know you out there in D&D land can understand I am shit at the rules. I am horrible at the mechanics of D&D, but I tell a fucking good story. So, like, that's always the most important to me. Everything has to service the story. And so, like, if the mechanics don't work, I don't care. We'll make it work.
I had another question. We did 6 different origin stories to the city of Haven.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know if you had definitively come up with the real.
So before I even asked you for your origin stories of Haven, I knew how Haven was created.
All right.
And a couple of you have actually had visions of how Haven was created.
Okay.
All I was going to say is the everybody has their own version of that. That was my idea. That
was your idea, and I really appreciate it. So every good DM has an assistant DM who they go to be like, hey man, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And they have a really good separation of character knowledge versus player knowledge. And because Matt plays in 2 separate games where I run games that are set in this world, Matt is my guy when it comes to that. But actually, I do talk to everybody. So
this is my 3rd Librarth campaign. At this point, yeah.
And there was a hint,
not kind of that short heist thing that we did in I forget where. But yeah, no, the first time Haven popped up, it was the first transcontinental journey that had happened, and Haven came up, and I was like, you know what? I think everybody from Haven should have a story about how Haven came to be. Mm-hmm. And then, that was our
session
zero
question.
You bought a goddamn ship, and we were like, well, Haven, that's coming back.
Oh yeah, that's behind the camera right there. Yeah. I bought a giant fucking
we're like,
miniature ship.
Well, and at the time I was still living there with you guys. Yeah. And so we had no idea that this was going to be a thing, and the whole video thing that we end up doing is purely because I moved over here to the western slope of Colorado. So,
but you know what? Having the ship on the table all the time would really leave less room for snacks.
And that is key. D&D snacks are very important.
Yeah. Get in the comments.
Snacks in the comments.
Tell us your favorite snacks in the comments, please. What else we got?
Are you? Well, that's.
Send it.
Are we ever going to do anything with the Valkyrum again? Because I feel like that's a really fun organization that just like hasn't popped up a whole
Side
lot.
note, explain
but I also
Valkyrum so that everybody in Land understands what you're talking about.
So the Valkyrum are a all-female religious order that are centered in the city of Folkwagner. So for those of you listening, the city of Folkwagner is slightly to the northeast of Tinkermere, where we have spent the majority of our campaign has been in Tinkermere, which is my personal favorite city.
Skald's from Folkwagner.
Skald's from Folkwagner. But what it is they worship a deity named the Allfather. And secretly, what they don't tell everybody, but what they know is that all of them have been fathered by the Allfather. And they are monks and warriors.
Yeah, they're all Growthor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you actually, the party met a character early on in Haven.
It's like this.
So what's their name, Matt?
Sorry. Foster.
Yeah.
Foster. Well, I mean, her name's actually something else, but that's her name.
It's something else, but that is the name of and so it's an order that is tasked with the idea of kind of protecting the downtrodden, the the poor and just kind of uplifting society as a whole. And that is done through major. They are one of the largest international organizations on Librarth. They have chapter houses all throughout the syndicate. They have just recently established one in the legation of Crypsis, which is where Sid is from, on the other side of, or nearly the other side of Librarth. They don't have one in Haven because Haven said fuck you, because they're pirates. There's a chapter house in Wudan, which is not a continent that we have talked about. No, we have been to Wudan. We haven't been to Uzet.
Pirate, the most common phrase of use is "fuck you."
Yeah,
for sure.
that is very much a Haven thing, but it's one of those things.
Fuck me.
Where they have, and it's something I would like to do, but at the same time, I did want to give you Matt some space from that character. One of my biggest fears is both within this table and the other one is that I don't want to be seen as catering to you, because one, you're a very good D&D player. I really enjoy your role playing, but at the same time, I need to give every other player a space, right? So that's why I don't focus you here on this table on you as much as I do at the other table. But the Valkyrum are happening. Things are happening. I don't know when it's going to happen. It's probably in this particular campaign, probably not. It just doesn't fit really, really well with what we're trying to do.
And that's fair. I was just like other stuff that I know about has come up, right? And other than our little Foster cameo.
Well, like if I was a better like actual writer, I would write the story of Foster's time in the Blood Sisters, right? Like, it's dope. Like, the things that happen to Foster after you have left her is amazing. And where she's going to end up, it may not be where Matt wants her to end up, but it's where I think naturally her as a character would naturally end up. So, no, that's a really cool thing. So also, if you want some more information about a lot of the stuff, the bare bones of it, you can check out our, I should really add this to the link tree. My World Anvil page, you can actually Google Librarth. I'll put a link down below, and I actually have a wiki for some of the world. I'm not very good at updating it because I am a oral storyteller, man. I'm not the best at doing things. My notes, I have notes on 3 different computers, one that doesn't even work anymore. I have like 7 notebooks.
I do think there's some Valkyrie.
That's the most millennial thing you've ever said, though. That you have your notes on a computer that doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's a very millennial thing. Like, oh yeah, that's this other computer.
I have a MacBook that died about a month and a half ago, and that I haven't gone to retrieve the information. Luckily, most of it was kept in the cloud. So
the only reason I don't have notes on another computer is because I pulled the hard drive out of that computer and got rid of the computer. They're still on a hard drive that's not connected to anything.
Yeah. We all got a hard drive from an old computer because we're in our 30s and 40s.
I have a hard drive. I'm afraid to open it.
So there's 2 bootable drives in there.
You know how much downloaded music from
that wasn't
Napster and Kazaa I have?
Mine isn't downloaded music that I'm worried about. It's other downloaded stuff.
I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, I had to get rid of all of my I had a whole bunch of downloaded movies and things that I ended up I don't have room on this drive anymore because I got to save room for the pictures and videos of my children.
So just to give you, dear listener, my hard drive,
Guy Ritchie,
survived deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan. Just imagine what's on it.
Yeah. And you want to see what happens when a bunker buster hits a tank? Yeah, I do.
I can't. I legally cannot say what is on that hard drive.
I'm sure you
exactly.
can. But we can say things, and then you can say nothing. We can try and read your facial expressions based on our guesses.
Grab public drone footage from what's going on in Ukraine right now, and be like, so out of 10, how close is this?
So to circle back.
Here's my question. When are we going to kill some fucking whalers?
Ooh.
Well, in that case, here's the thing. So a certain unnamed organization has essentially decapitated the leadership of the nation that was in charge of that type of whaling. So,
kind of a fun story. Can I tell it?
Go.
Yeah, it's lore.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Okay, so what happened was my cleric needed a spell component, and that spell component specifically was somebody else's holy symbol. So we're like, okay, there's this racist group of elves that we all hate, right? And we had 2 elves in the party that hated this nation, and I hated this nation because I was the only person not. I was kind of the only person who was like from the like world at large because of how Morgan structured the campaign with a handful of new players, and we're like, well, let's go steal one of their high clerics' holy symbols, right? So we infiltrated their capital city, and we figured out where their like High Council of Clerics met, which is their like governing body of this, and we were like, okay, let's go and see what happens. And we end up just wiping them the fuck out, right? So like the leadership of this theocratic, racist theocracy of elves, we just killed them. So I could have a holy symbol for a spell component. And we haven't really talked. Yeah, exactly. And we haven't
talk as a tree. I had to pull a Matt Mercer and say, so if you have listened to the second season of Critical Role, there's a moment where Ashley and Matt are talking, and Matt is role playing as grass, and he says something about consent, and I essentially had to do the same fucking thing. They did speak with plants, and I had to talk as a fucking tree, and I hated it. I hate every second of it. Don't ever fucking make me do speak with plants again, because I will fucking murder you.
What was Crabgrass's name?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Crabgrass? It was like Crabgrass?
Kenneth or something like that.
Yeah.
Kenneth the Crabgrass.
Yeah, it was a tree outside of a small temple, because the city of Calcordia, which is the capital of the Calcord Enclave, is like indoor. It's a bunch. But instead of like an interconnected web of bridges, the trees have grown together, and so it's this massive city of almost 1 million people that live 200 feet in the air. And so they were talking to a tree outside this small little church, and they wanted to know where people were, and I'm like, don't touch me. Consent.
Jeremy Crabgrass, that's right.
That's it, yeah. And I was like, I literally had just watched that episode, and so like I stole a little bit from Matt. Like, full disclosure, family, Matt Mercer and Nate are the reasons that I became a DM, right? Steve. Like Nate. Thank you, brother. Yeah, Nate is a very good DM. He really inspired me. And then watching Matt Mercer do it, and I am not the DM that I thought I was going to be. I thought I was going to be a very combat-focused DM, and I am not. I am very much the role player.
You should have known that from the first few combats you did with me, where you rolled like shit every single combat until we had a combat that you rolled so well we didn't have a combat.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. Dragons. Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons, where you roll ones and you drink, and you roll 20s and you drink.
Yep. All right, what else you got?
I was wondering about how our is not the manager, but the Berkheim necromancer.
Lord Richter.
I want to know more about. I want to know who's older. First off,
the Lord Richter is older.
Lord Richter or the manager?
The Lord Richter is older.
Okay.
So,
and the Lord Richter is the necromancy. The necromancy.
He's the god. He's the godfather of necromancy.
Yeah, because there was several different
kind of
wizards of different schools of magic.
He's not the godfather of necromancy, but he's the last one standing.
So, here's what happened. As is known on Librarth, there was an event called the Cataclysm. This event shattered not only the world, but it shattered the weave itself, which creates magic. So everyone had to relearn how magic worked. The only people who were actually able to craft magic in its natural form are those of the divine casters. So paladins, rangers, and clerics. Those were the big ones, right? Because in this world, the nature itself is kind of takes on, there's the three aspects of magic. There's the divine, there is the nature, and then there is the arcane. So the world itself, the people had to relearn the arcane. And there were 5 scholars who learned and taught the major schools of magic. And those major schools of magic were abjuration, necromancy, transmutation, invention, and what was the 5th?
Evocation.
It was evocation. Thank you. And so those 5 scholars created 5 schools, and eventually they came together to form an organization. Well, that organization, 4 of them eventually believed that the only way to protect and save the world was to actually remove the free will of all sentient creatures. One of them didn't agree, the 5th. And that 5th person left to found their own kind of space. They found it, and eventually it became a haven for those who were outcasts, who didn't understand how the world was working, and eventually that became the city of Bergheim. And that one person is the Lord Richter. He is now the only surviving member of the 5 original inventors of schools of the major schools of magic. He literally is the inventor of the school of necromancy. He was the first person to create a phylactery, the first person to enter lichdom, and because of his creation, he is the reason that his daughter, Prosperin, has gone through so much pain and torture, because it's his school of magic that led to her unintentionally killing her wife, Shirlene.
Which is why Patrice got the tattoo.
Oh, that's dope.
It's a remembrance of his legend lore knowledge of Shirlene and her relationship with Prosperin, because he has a feeling that given the nature of what we do, eventually the Shirlene's going to get exploded at some point in time, and he wants to make sure that story lives on through him, and so he put it on himself.
That story of Prosperin, Shirlene, and the Lord Richter is the kernel of what created this whole world.
Now,
I've been waiting for that story to show up since the first time you sent it to me.
Because that was from Dustin's campaign, the acquisition.
Yeah, actually, it predates that.
Oh, does it? Tell more.
I created that backstory for a friend, Elena. I think she actually is one of our listeners. Her campaign was the very first campaign that I ran. She was one of my very first players. I introduced them all to D&D, and then she wanted to run her first game, and so she had found a little small module that was kind of like a fun house, and so it required all the characters in the game to have a disturbing and sad backstory. So I started writing, and my story was the story of Shirlene's loss. The loss of that Prosperin had and the cause of it, and that story of the Lord Richter pulling down his bandana and saying, "This is the only way that I can bring her back," and then her leaving to trying to find another way to bring her back. That was the inspiration. And then when Matt asked me, Matt said, "Hey man, like Becca and Will and Rob, like they want to get into D&D. They want to know what this thing I do is, like, can you run the game?" And so I took that kernel, and then that's how I created Bergheim, which at the time, for the first 3 levels of that game, was in a pocket dimension. There was no outside connections. There were, but they were not known. And then through one of the characters, they were able to go explore, and eventually it was through their actions and then their connection with the Lord Richter that brought Bergheim back into the material, because the Lord Richter was afraid of those 4 people that were trying, and that was the impetus of that whole fucking story. And then, but before that happened, that's when we played that game with Dustin ran, where I put the wall of fire and all of that shit, right? So yeah, there's a lot there. Which is why I say, ask me the questions, because I have a lot of lore. Like, I literally have a 10-page document written in World that is a history of the species, dude. Like, I'm a nerd. It is called On the Species. It is written by Magnus Merchant.
Magnus! Ooh.
The guy. Magnus, if you ever run into Magnus Merchant in one of my games, he is a stand-in for me.
As much as I realized I don't particularly enjoy being a DM. I like playing in details in worlds and not actually running the game.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, like you said, I have pages of lore that nobody's ever going to see for the world that you guys played in.
Well, I think that's what makes this game so special, right? Is so we have 3-4 DMs here at the table, and I can say, like, all right, guys, here's what I want. I need you specifically. Hey, Curtis, I need you to do this. And then you come back with something. Hey, Dustin, I need you to do this thing for me. Hey, bring me something, right? And so because of that,
the jump rules.
well, you're the only one I go to for mechanic shit, and I usually disagree with you anyways.
Matt knows the jump rules.
I know the jump rules. I knew the jump rules. I think I turned up in my brain. I'm going to go make myself a drink now.
Go make a drink.
I was just going to do that.
Yeah, no, you have to keep talking because you brought up the...
So, Curtis, you have to ask the next question.
Okay, the next question is the manager.
Okay.
The manager seems to be vampiric. Is that true? If so, is he a daywalker?
He is not a daywalker.
Does he eat blood that is flesh, or does he? Does they consume a serum of sort like Blade?
So, beholders do not, in my world, beholders are actually not created through the dreams of another beholder. Right? So that's the canon D&D Wizards of the Coast rule. There is a way for beholders to mate. They propagate the thought, the idea of this thing of, because it builds them, because there's very few of them. However, there was a interesting liaison between a proto beholder and a vampire who is still alive. And that is the lineage of the manager.
Beholder vampire sex?
Is a proto beholder.
What is more, please.
So the cataclysm changed a lot of things, including some creatures, just abilities, and so because it warped the weave, it kind of changed. Some species are intrinsically tied to the arcane magic of the weave, and so when it was broken, it kind of warped them physically. So the manager is actually one of the first true beholders.
Okay. So the proto beholder, how many eyes did the proto beholder have?
3.
Good answer.
Well, it is the answer.
It just had the 1 eye stalk or 2?
No eye stalks, actually.
No eye stalks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how did it make another beholder?
The cataclysm.
Okay. I was making a dig joke.
No, you're fine. I get where you're coming from, but also I have thought about this, and that is the answer.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So, I don't think you guys have explored it, but it's probably something that's coming up. But there are vestiges and remnants and ruins that are left over all over Librarth that remain that are still trying to be investigated, of the remains of the cataclysm. The problem is there massive implications for those who wield magic in any form. So it's a very uncomfortable space.
Whoa. So.
Oh yeah, nobody's been to a desolation zone yet.
We have experienced like weird. The magic, the weave feels weird in certain spots, and so Stark starts to like notice it. Like he gets the Stark tingle. And all right, I'm putting this together. And you were talking about the cataclysm was where magic and all arcane magic ended.
It didn't end.
Or they had to rediscover it.
So immediately after the cataclysm, essentially everyone was a wild magic sorcerer.
Everyone, or just all magic users?
All magic users, right? So the idea of like you could see, like you could find the remnants of someone who was using magic, and like you could find a spell book, you could cast a spell. That didn't mean that you got the actual same thing that was written on the page. Like everyone other than a cleric and a paladin and a ranger had to roll on a, like the essential, like the mechanic of it is that you had to roll on a wild magic table, right? Because the weave is broken, your connection. So essentially what it was is, so if you think about back about 4 episodes ago or 5 episodes ago, when Sark is seeing these tendril lines of the soul of these warforged that are going to somewhere, right? That's essentially the weave in a space that you, as a magic user, your web is tied to this web, right? Now it's broken, and that guiding light is gone. So now you're like, abracadabra, hocus pocus. Poof. Well, what used to work doesn't now.
Right.
So it broke the weave. It didn't end. Arcane magic was still there, but there was no way to connect the intent with the outcome. Does that make sense?
Yeah, your intent and your impact were completely opposite.
It could happen. Your intent could happen.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it probably didn't. Right?
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So now I just want to guess at like what's going on in these weird little like. So the ruins that we're exploring, are pre-cataclysm.
They are pre-cataclysm.
Are they? Because they're pre-cataclysm, is there some type of device or force in those areas that is changing our connection to the weave?
No.
Okay.
No. There's not a device that's doing it. So the implication is less on the technology and more on the interconnection of the weave to the multiverse and to the multiplanar space that is the universe, especially when it comes tied to the dragons and to the creator.
Okay.
I won't go too much into it because now you're delving into story.
Now I'm trying to solve the problem of our campaign, and that's not really what this is about.
And trust me, now that you guys have made some decisions, like the story has coalesced.
Yeah.
So one of the unique things that I do as a DM is I start a campaign not knowing who the big bad is. Right? I think it's really interesting that way.
Tell us today, though. You're going to tell us today.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, like if I just ask the right question in the right way, you're going to tell me.
No, I'm not.
Got to keep asking.
Keep asking, dude.
Yes or no
I'm
question.
not drunk enough. I need to be John drunk to give you that answer.
We all need to be John drunk.
But the thing is, and I think this is something that I think a lot of DMs could learn something from, is by not knowing, you allow the players to create the space for their own confrontation at the end of the BBEG, right?
Yeah.
So it allows for, like, everyone dreams of playing. Say again?
You're not forcing it.
No. And so everyone dreams of playing in that sandbox, right?
Yeah.
Well, I create that sandbox. I create a world. I create an initial story, and then I let your decisions decide where we go. Like, I have an idea, granted, I had an idea of where I wanted this story to go. We went that way. I wanted to go that way. And I mean, I should have known. I mean, Dustin exists as a human being, and like, he's going to derail you in the best way possible, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he has completely derailed the story in ways that I never thought possible, and I love it. I have had to think of things in ways that I never thought, and it has been, I mean, that's what brought the whole huge Dragonborn. Like, I had to find these things to bring these story points and these plot points that you guys were searching for that I had not thought about into the story that I had originally wanted to do. So,
did we figure out which plane the Dragonborns came from?
You haven't yet. There are
the door.
Say again.
I thought that didn't the doors all kind of coalesce to like one specific plane?
At one point, they did.
Yeah, we have an idea of what plane they came from, but we don't know for sure yet.
There are through lines from the first time you met them to now.
Yeah.
That tie in. They work for somebody.
Okay.
They work for somebody.
From the Prosperine.
Fucking Who Bear. I knew it. I knew it from the beginning. Like, I never.
He's the big bad. He's the big bad.
It's all because I used to make fun of him by quoting a Winnie the Pooh thing. Come on now. That day, Morgan was like, "You're gonna get fucked up by Who Bear." He wrote it down, and he wrote it in that computer that doesn't work anymore. And
so tell you what, I
come back to kick my ass.
I am generally a pretty easygoing DM, but there are some things that will fucking trigger me, and that was one of them. That rubbed me the wrong way, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I recently went through the first 6 or 7 episodes and was copying down drinks, and I listened to that part specifically to figure out, like, because I was like, Morgan was really upset, and I'm just making it a pun. Morgan is he's like, I spent time and effort on this character, and like in the same way that you see Matthew Mercer when he gets with Sam or Laura, are just like, you fucking ruined this. I had a whole thing, and now you're making dick jokes, you motherfucker. You see it on his face, like, this was going to be great, and now it's just a dick joke.
And I think every DM has that moment, right, where like I try not to let my frustration, seep through, right? Because it's like, I do spend a lot of time. I mean, even just outside of the editing and the producing and all that stuff that we do for the podcast and everything, right? But like, just the DM elements, man, I spend at least 8 to 12 hours a week thinking about it and working on it and all these things. And so it's like, at times you take such a personal connection to the story. And if someone doesn't take it as seriously as you think, you get butthurt about it. And like, it's definitely, I think that's a DM failing. I think all DMs have it, right? Because you should have fun only if your players have fun. However, there are times when one player can dictate. Now, granted, we don't have it very often. We do have it from time to time, and there are certain players that can cause problems and everything. And the things that cause them are the reasons that I love them, But at the same time, it's like, so you just have to, as a DM, have to learn to adapt and go with it. And
sometimes you gotta have a lore episode, man.
Sometimes you gotta have a lore episode, And you know what? It's a good reason he spent some time with his partner celebrating her, her I'm okay with it, right? But like, I had a feeling the moment that I hit record and he went wild, I was like,
I knew when we were at Cochino's Tacos.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, John's only like this when he's ready to like start like hugging me and stuff.
speaking of which, we're gonna eat tacos when y'all come to Grand Junction.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna go to taco party.
Hell yeah, Western Slope tacos. All day.
They're the best white people tacos I've ever had.
We were at Cochino's Tacos and I went through the happy hour menu. I ordered 3 things off the happy hour menu, and one of them was the Doritos nachos. And like, the best part about Doritos nachos is if you're pulling the chip to your mouth and everything falls off, like sometimes happens with a nacho, still a Dorito.
Okay.
Still a Dorito.
So what are we drinking,
You
fellas?
can't miss. It's 100% always great.
What are we drinking?
I don't know yet. I'm gonna try it.
Mine fucking sucks. We're not talking about it.
Okay, we're not talking about that.
This one's good though.
Nate, what are we drinking?
I revisited for Frangelico's sake. So
Okay.
It's Frangelico.
What herbs do we got on top?
You have grated dark chocolate on top.
Oh gosh.
Ooh.
That's what it is.
I'm drinking straight tequila.
That's what I should have done.
So this is me
That's
revisiting
good.
it for things we're not talking about.
My bar is
That's the
a
exact
room
right
away, and this is the only bottle I have. So I've essentially drank that much since we started.
So
I'm gonna go juice you the grapefruit for that drink. Ask another lore question.
Don't juice me a grapefruit.
I'm gonna juice a grapefruit.
I'm not asking good lore questions because I have a very good handle on
It's Nate's turn to ask a lore question.
Nate, do you have a lore question?
Not that we can't figure out through the campaign, because all of mine are relevant to things we're seeking currently.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like the prison that we're halfway trying to find, and
I mean, it probably needs to, like,
Hey.
it's already got a fuck ton of pineapple juice.
Are you
in it.
here?
I know.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna come go. I'm gonna come down.
Everyone, say goodbye to John.
All right.
bye, John. Bye, John.
Bye, guys.
Hey, John.
Yes,
I love you, man. I really
love
do.
I love you.
I adore you.
I'm tired.
Go home. Have a good rest, bro. We
Been a
love
long
you.
Days. I'm leaving a lot of stuff here,
It's okay. We'll drink
and
it.
I'll be back in 2 weeks.
50th episode, bitches.
That's right.
Number
That's right.
50. We made it to 50.
I'll see you guys soon.
Be sober at the beginning.
Probably.
All right, so
Definitely, but probably.
if
Guys.
let's
Bye.
ask one more lore question before we wrap up for the evening.
How do the Valkyrum and the 9 brothers feel about each other?
Ooh, that is an excellent question. They are actually very interconnected. So the 9 brothers, so really the manager and the Valkyrum were together when both organizations were founded. So it ties in with the end of the Cataclysm, the end of the Age of Arcana. Someone asked the manager when he was a simple import-export manager, like literally a manager of an import-export business, asked him to find something. And he hired a group of people, some of them from Valkyria or from Folkwagner, and they didn't make it back, right? A group of people later found their bones. Matt, you remember that?
I do.
3 different groups here coalescing into this one bit. But what happened is that the manager.
Hey, that's all I'm saying.
Say again.
Don't waste a good TPK. Is what Curtis is saying.
It was so good. So it was that Elena, my friend I was talking about earlier, her table, her husband opened a door in the middle of a fight, and that door led to other bad guys, and they all died. They all died. It was my one and only TPK, And then Matt's other group, the Vagina Mapologues, because I can only unintentionally draw vaginas. And Nature does it too. Best text ever.
That was a good text today.
But totally. The thing is that the manager and the founder of the Valkyrum met at one point, and there was a discussion about different things, and the manager has essentially acquiesced to almost any demand. So the Valkyrum has a chapter house next door. Literally, there's a bridge between two skyscrapers in Tinkermere. There's a chapter house on the top 3 floors of a skyscraper that the manager owns. The manager owns that building. That's something that you didn't even know, Matt. So this chapter house is the second most important building that the Valkyrum owns, outside of the temple in Folkwagner, which is this gorgeous temple in the city square of an island on a waterfall. Like, it's this gorgeous facility. And Tinkermere is the second most important, because a lot of the information that the Valkyrum, and especially the Blood Sisters, which is a secret entity within the Valkyrum, utilizes, comes from the manager. And there is because the main reason that the manager does what he does is to protect the city of Tinkermere, because that is where he is from.
And having been kind of the impetus around the Valkyrum, right? Like, it's not a super agendaed organization for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. Like, the idea behind it was, this is like Matt's version of what Jedi Knights are supposed to be,
mm-hmm.
right? Where it, right, like they're
where
doing,
the Jedi aren't the bad guys.
Yeah, no, where the Jedi aren't the fucking bad guys, right? Where it's like, no, they're doing like the knight errant shit, where they're just out there doing the right thing in the name of
neutral good.
Kind of,
right?
Yeah,
very much neutral good.
It's a very
neutral border on chaotic.
No, well, it's
in the sense that chaotic is against society's rules.
Yeah.
See, actually, this is where it's chaotic doesn't fit, because the Valkyrum actually work for the benefit of society, but only their ideals of what society is. So it's kind of like but you're right, Nate. It's right on the border.
It's right on that line, right? Because, like, honestly, the way I played Foster, who was my Valkyrum character, was like ridiculous. Like, that's the best example of me playing a chaotic good character, right? She was doing what she thought was the right thing, and everybody else was along for the fucking ride.
She was essentially just elevated to the role of Jedi Knight, and the Jedi Grand Master was her master. Right, that's how it boiled down. Like the leader of the Valkyrum was her training instructor. Right, so it tied in this really interesting stories. It was super cool, and like they got to eat really good food at the top of a tower over a waterfall.
In a Morgan campaign, they got to eat really good food.
Shocker, right?
Yeah, they get attacked by liches.
That's part.
He's leaving that fucking part out.
I'm pretty sure they did it themselves.
No, we were just outside with the leader of our order who was being attacked. It wasn't our fault, actually.
No, they were literally going to get street meat.
Like that one was not on us.
How come we haven't attacked getting street meat?
Because you've only gotten street meat once.
It's true. We've only gotten street meat once.
So the thing that separates your table, the thing that separates y'all's table from the other table is that I know that other table is that they all have very specific tropes that they love, right? So it's horror, it's investigation, and like detective shit. So like I hit those points really hard with them. So it's like it's slightly different. So like they had to fight a whole fucking church full of marionettes.
Ew.
Terrifying.
Yeah, no, I was fucking not okay. It's the worst thing Morgan's ever done to me as a player was the goddamn marionette fight.
There are 3 human beings, players, not characters, players who are traumatized from that fight.
Yeah.
Out of a 4-person table.
Yeah. And
That is the only one who was like, yes, give me more.
Yeah, my girlfriend's a freak, yo.
I am so proud of that fight. And that was like a level 4 fight. Like, you guys were level 4.
Yeah, I was like, sounds like Sark would have a great time.
It was a good fight.
That's when they met the personifications of Druidic magic in Librarth.
Oh, right.
The Walker sisters.
I was like, I just said the name. Whoops.
Oh, well, you guys met their brother. Heavy on the air quotes there, brother. I'm so excited, dude. Speaking of which, I am texting the group at the end of this month because we are going to fucking play some D&D.
I may be really pissed off Rob while I was drunk last night.
It's all right. We're going to play D&D starting in June.
Not DMing.
So, before we wrap up for the night, do we have any more lore questions that are burning for you guys? And what are we drinking?
My friend Devin, who's in the Discord, gave me a drink recipe he was making at home. So this is 1.5 ounces of Empress gin, the butterfly pea blue one, the indigo one, and it's got 3/4 of an ounce of creme de mure or blackberry liqueur, and we're using the German shit. I don't remember. It starts with an E, and
It's impossible to say.
Yeah, even Germans struggle with it.
Fucking check.
So,
It's impossible to say.
yeah. So, and then it's topped with an elderflower yuzu lemonade soda.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
It's
pretty nice.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It definitely fits with going into summer. I will say that.
All right, so with that though, I will give last alibis. Any more lore questions before we wrap up for the evening?
Somebody else go, because there was another one I'm trying to remember right now.
Okay.
Dustin, what's your weirdest lore question?
Who had the origin story of Haven? Whose was correct?
No, he's not telling you what's correct.
He's not telling.
None of yours was correct.
No,
So
I know
which
the right
one's
story.
correct? So none?
No, but you guys have interacted with the correct story.
Anyways, I will give out
Our
more.
fucking patron is a correct story.
Well, yeah.
Um,
Both of our stories are about our patron.
I know.
Because I don't know if it'll
You got
actually
it
come
right.
up at this point now. Sark's name is short.
I learned this.
Oh.
I figured this out.
Oh.
Go.
Because his full name is Sarkophu, because he came out of a sarcophagus.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
It's so good, and trust me, that's coming into play. It's coming into play.
Because I sent him a text message after one of our episodes, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like I had that moment, like in the middle of the night while I was listening to one of our episodes, and I was like, "Oh, this has to be it!" And I was right, and it made me feel so good.
I love the mental image of Curtis like dead asleep listening to our podcast shooting and being like, "Oh my god!"
Here's the thing.
I was there, and now I'm still surprised.
3:30 a.m.
Here's the thing, right? We may not have the best production quality of actual play podcasts, of YouTube or anything, but god damn it, I think we have some of the best storytelling between the world, between y'all's playing. I think we're up there. I think when it comes to actual storytelling, I don't think there's too many who can compete with us. We do a very good job. You guys are really good role players. I feel very proud of the world I've created. So I think we're up there. I think we do a really good job.
I love Librarth. I love it.
Thank you.
And I've written a chunk of it,
You have.
but I fucking love it. It's such a great setting.
You know, my kids are the best kids too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're the
Right?
best.
Like,
I love that.
like, you guys have fucking story
Honestly,
game.
Matt is the auntie, right? Because it's like I birthed the kids, and then Matt helped rear them.
He's Uncle Matt.
He's the auntie.
Witchy auntie who only takes them out to do fun things with their parents.
Exactly.
That's right.
Well, is that it? If that's it, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So thank you everyone for, as always, joining us on this adventure of cooperative storytelling. As always, if you would like to join us in a more interactive way, you can click the links below. Thank you so much. Click. We in this particular day, for me, it is kind of a special day. So tomorrow is Memorial Day. So with that being said, I would like to offer a toast. They shall grow not old, as we are left to grow old. Age shall not worry them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Drink well.
Drink well.
Well.